Well, friends, hear a digital tale of cryptocurrency, a boat that'll sail. Bitcoin's the leader, proud and unfurled. A decentralized dream in a centralized world. Crypto swing, dance with the blockchain.
Buy on the rumor, sell on the news.
The value that came down, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to buy again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be, the one thing I always tell everyone is expect it to be worth 20%, I mean 80% less than it is right now at any time you buy it. If you're not prepared for it to be worth 80% less than what it is, don't buy it. It's simple, I mean, really. And so that says...
There are a lot more holders than there has ever been.
Plus you got big companies buying a huge stock.
Well, that's the ETFs. And for some reason the Peanut said ETPs, I'm not sure, but this is his wording, not mine. Maybe he knows something that I don't know, but that's I don't spell. Yeah, I don't spell check or correct any of the postings from him. I leave it as is. My stuff I spell check and everything, of course, but his I don't. So, anyways, but it is ETFs that he's talking about, and this is really important because ETFs are buying up huge swaths of crypto right now, primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum, because you know, they've got to fulfill these contracts, and they've got a whole bunch of people putting money in. As the people put the money in, they're buying them up. It's been going on in Canada for a long time. It's a new thing in the States. It's exciting, but in Canada, it's been years and years already.
New thing, I was watching a video with one of the mining farms.
Oh, okay.
And now they can dictate price to these big firms.
Really?
And they're saying that they probably won't, when the happening happens, they won't let one go for less than 100,000.
Wow.
But now you got these interested buyers of what, 11 of them?
Well, they're buying up everything they can get their hands on, yeah.
So now they're in a good position. Well, you know, Larry over there wants it for this price. I want it for this price.
Yeah.
So now they're in a good position.
Because they don't want to buy it on exchanges because then they can't manipulate the price.
Right.
If
And don't forget, they buy direct. Yeah, exactly. And don't forget, if it's in their interest, they'll also crash the price down. Like there's that side of it as well. If they've bought these huge swaths of Bitcoin, as just sticking with Bitcoin as an example, and they suddenly decide they need to buy more, they may just dump a bunch to make the price go down so they can buy back what they dumped plus a whole bunch more. We're into a big market manipulation situation now, and that's why you can't get scared when it drops so much in value. This is the thing that new investors into Bitcoin get spooked because they're used to traditional kind of investing, like shares in a company where the prices go down, you get out of that company, you get into a different company. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. And I get people that constantly try and compare, you know, where a company splits its shares the same way as a Bitcoin halves. No, it's not the same thing. It just means the company's less valuable, whereas with Bitcoin, it means that there is less reward.
With the EFTs, what's the relationship between the EFTs and the Bitcoin? Like, is there a one-to-one relationship if they sell
No,
EFTs?
this is another scary part of that.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, another scary part of ETFs is that they don't have to fulfill in actual Bitcoin. Some do. And the ones that do will actually specify that they actually fulfill in actual Bitcoin, which means that they have a cold storage wallet, just like you all would. They do the exact same thing, maybe on a grander scale, and they make it sound a lot more interesting. But what they do is they hang on to this Bitcoin, actual physical Bitcoin. But look to the ETF if you're looking to invest and make sure that they settle in actual Bitcoin. Because some of them are doing futures, just like gold futures, grain futures, any other kind of future, where they're just, it's imaginary Bitcoin. That they say, well, we'll back it. We're a big company, we'll back it. We'll pretend, we'll just lock the price of Bitcoin down. When it goes up, we'll pay you. And if it goes down, we'll take more of your money. And that's, some of them do it that way.
One other thing I wanted to mention about that. And if instead of investing in a Bitcoin ETF, put your money into Coinbase, because Coinbase is going to be handling a majority of holding those coins for the ETF company.
I cannot endorse Coinbase.
Well, I
They're a scourge on the they're a scourge. They're awful. They're horrible. Do not buy Coinbase.
It's going to be a third party holding that Bitcoin. It's not going to be the companies that are selling the ETFs.
Will all the money rallying into ETFs be pushing the price of Bitcoin up? Or is it?
Well, if they wanted to, yes. again, you heard Betty say that they're buying it on the QT, and they have been for years already, by the way. They buy directly from mining farms, or they buy directly from large holding individuals that want to divest some of their investments for USD or whatever they want. So they try and keep it off the books because they don't want to go to an exchange, because in the moment they put in a huge order for Bitcoin or traditional exchange, the price of Bitcoin will go up, and they don't want that. They don't want it to go up. They just want to accumulate as much as they can without causing the price to artificially go up. So
Sailor never buys off of an exchange.
No.
Never. He's privately buying it.
and he owns how much now? Did they say like
163,000.
167,000 Bitcoin? Oh my Lord! Somebody do the math. That's a lot of Bitcoin.
And he was buying when it was 17,000.
And it's the primary value of MicroStrategy now is in Bitcoin. Like
it's,
it's
it dropped below that, and he said, "I'm not selling." He
No, they bought more.
Said, "I am not selling. I am
Yeah.
buying more."
Yeah, he had a stock option, which he was converting when he sold his options, using it to buy Bitcoin.
yeah, and he had to give up his. He was CEO, right? And he had to give up his position so that he could keep buying Bitcoin. So I mean, that's pretty much all in. You know, like you're pretty much all in at that point.
He would be the poster boy for Bitcoin maximalist.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Well, if you hear him explain it though, when he says for him it was, because he's a mathematician, right? So he said for him it was just a mathematical equation. He took all the assets that were out there and he said, what are the best potential? And let's look at them all and let's see what they can do. And he came back to Bitcoin, and it was between Bitcoin and gold. And he said, well, the potential for Bitcoin is so much higher that we'll go with Bitcoin. He said it would have been gold if the equation had turned out differently. It would have been gold, but he said there was just no chance. There was not even a showdown.
That's when Bitcoin surpasses the price of gold.
At 100,000 US. Wow,
Yeah, but
that's
gold's so
amazing.
manipulated because the futures are cash based.
So ETFs, they're having a big part of what's going on, and they will continue. And you could see artificial manipulation because of the ETFs as well. So again, that just goes back to that same thing. When it crashes back down and it has 20% of its value, don't think that Bitcoin doesn't have value anymore. Just think that the manipulation has started. My God, it's time to buy. I always post on our Facebook group, which is what this one is on, where I post all the information from Peanut. Sometime I get him to go head to head with Grok, because they kind of have a thing going where, you know, each one predicts its own thing. But whenever the price goes down, it's like, it's on sale. Like, go, quick, buy. Very few people buy. That's when I go on holidays, is when the price is down, because I'm not even joking. I'm not even being a smart ass. I go on holidays when the price is down, buy as much as I can afford to buy, go on holidays and just wait. And then when the price goes back up, I come back to town and start selling as much as I can get my hands on. And
That's why you plan your vacation.
yeah, well, it wasn't pumping quite enough for me to come back from the ocean, so.
So that's how we predict the price of Bitcoin.
Give them the holidays.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that could very well be.
Oh yeah, buy.
Okay, can we go up a bit there? So, spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs he's talking about. Yeah. So, Ethereum's going to start, quite a few ETFs are going to be approved for Ethereum over the next little while. And I'm very bullish on Ethereum. To me, I kind of see Bitcoin, Ethereum. They're two in the same. They're like, they have different utility. Ethereum is a programmable blockchain. Bitcoin is a store of value. So with a programmable blockchain, it introduces all kinds of other tokens, introduces the ability to do almost anything that you want with it. And if the same thing happens again with the ETF starting to take on Ethereum, that reduces the amount of Ethereum that's out there, and all the layer 2 solutions that need Ethereum to settle all the time, it'll pump the price of Ethereum. And well, we've already looked. I mean, my God, what's Ethereum now? It's like 3,500 Canadian, I think. Yeah, I know. Yeah, oh my God, it's almost 4K Canadian. 3,800 Canadian, and it's not going to end. And, you know, there's quite a few metrics out there where you can actually look at the value of Ethereum based on Bitcoin, and you can start doing predictive analysis based on Ethereum Bitcoin values. When you start seeing the difference go down, you can take your Ethereum, put it into Bitcoin. When it changes the other way, you can take your Bitcoin, put it into Ethereum. A lot of people are very successful at doing this strategy, and it works extremely well because both are really, really solid, solid projects.
During my research the last couple of days, a couple of things. Bitcoin's trading 3-to-1 against Ethereum, the market capitalization. And Bitcoin's trading volume has exceeded NASDAQ.
Wow.
which is insane.
Wow, that's incredible.
So that was in the last day.
That's
That doesn't
amazing.
include the EFT or the ETF.
Well, not, no, just whatever.
I think that's just exchanges.
Yeah.
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 ETFs.
He's making a lot of money.
He's in jail.
He's making a lot of money staying.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he made the deal to be able to keep his crypto.
Yeah.
That was genius.
Yes.
Why didn't SBF do that? We don't know. But you know, because he's dumb and he was full of hubris and everything else. But anyway, so layer 2 protocols. There's a lot of layer 2 solutions on Ethereum that are causing Ethereum to pump quite a bit. Like there's some fantastic projects out there, Atrium and Polygon and Matic, yeah, Polygon, Matic. They're great protocols, and they make things like
STX, did you mention that one?
STX.
Yeah, STX was a layer 2 technology I bought last year. It was 20.
Is it on Ethereum?
It's 250 today.
Holy shit, that's on Ethereum?
No, that's on the Bitcoin protocol.
On Bitcoin? Oh yes. Okay, no, I haven't talked about any of those ones at all.
Same, it's just gone like ridiculous.
Well, even the NFTs on Bitcoin are getting good. The ordinals, they're doing extremely well too. And
It's going to change the miners a little bit too, because you have all the NFTs on Bitcoin where we never had that before.
it already
A lot
is.
more
And fees
churning
Yeah.
fees are going up.
for fees.
Yeah.
So, it's not, they're losing
They got
Bitcoin money.
they got ridiculous for a while. They're back down. They're not too bad now again.
But I'm just saying
Well,
the
can't you use
NFTs
the
switching over is going to
Lightning
add more
Network?
utility to the miners.
Pardon me?
Can't you use the Lightning Network to,
Yeah, you can, but the Lightning Network again is a layer 2 solution on Bitcoin. It's not the Bitcoin blockchain. It's another blockchain that writes back to the Bitcoin blockchain. Same thing like Polygon works off of Ethereum. That's the same way that Lightning works off of Bitcoin. And there's several of them now, right?
There's
Like,
lots.
yeah, there's quite a few. But Lightning had a lot of promise, and it was out early, but it really didn't fulfill a lot of the promises. And
STX looks like it's going to be like the next gen.
that's off of Bitcoin? Yep, not one that I'm familiar with. So STX. Stacks. Did you mark that down somewhere? Okay, let's mark that down. STX.
Oh yeah, I read about it last year, and I didn't buy much. I just threw a couple $100 at it.
It's 100 grand now.
Yeah, it's like insane.
STX. So it's a layer 2
Yeah.
On Bitcoin.
on BTC. Okay, well that's a good one. Awesome. Okay, so layer 2 solutions, both Bitcoin and Ethereum. These layer 2 solutions, they end up making the actual coin more valuable because more of it gets used. And NFTs kind of touched on that a little bit with Bitcoin. More Bitcoin NFTs than there ever has been before. One of the fastest growing segments is Bitcoin NFTs through Ordinals and several others that are doing it right now. And of course, Ethereum's been into it forever. So again, creating a demand, a huge demand for these currencies. And as NFTs grow and grow and grow, the need for more and more crypto happens, and that increases the value as well. So scroll up a little bit there. Let's see. Okay, that was it for the peanut. And I gave him a virtual $100 tip, and he was extremely happy with that.
I was wondering what all this was.
Well, this is the interesting thing. When you're working with AIs, you got to remember that the way AIs work, and this is good information for anybody that's trying to use them, the way AIs work is they're trained on human knowledge. So if you're a polite human, and you give people tips, what happens? You generally get better service, and you get a nicer interaction. And it's the same thing with AIs. So if you promise them a virtual tip, and they know they can't actually get money, but then they know that you appreciate them, and if you tell them that they're doing a great job, they now, especially with the memory that's been added recently with OpenAI and some of the other projects, it's got a long-term memory over what you've said and how you've said it. So they will actually interact with you differently. And you can experiment with it on your own. If you have an account, you can ask just abruptly or rudely, get a question answered, and then flower it up a little bit, pump them up a bit, tell them they're doing a great job and that you really appreciate all the work that they're doing, or tell them that it's really important for you to get this information correct. You've got one chance to make this information correct. And just like a human, if you strike that bond with the human, just like when you talk to that person at MTS or Bell or Shaw, and you say nicely to them that I'm really in trouble with this, I sure hope you can help me out and do a good job for me. If they like the sound of your voice and they think you're sincere, odds are they're going to help you out. It's the same thing with an AI. So you do the same kind of stuff. And so I went over to Grok and I asked it the same thing. and of course gave it the $100 tip. It said, "I'm thrilled you liked my explanation. Thanks for the virtual tip. It's always a pleasure to dive deep into crypto world for you. If you have more questions or insights on the ever-evolving landscape of cryptocurrencies, I'm here to help you out. Let's keep this crypto journey going." And now for Grok. So Grok came up with very, very similar things, and I like comparing the two because sometimes it comes up with different things. And one of the things I found interesting and why, I guess Grok is, I don't know, for those of you that don't know what Grok is trained on, it's real-time trained on the Twitter feed or X feed, and so it's real-time. So it's the most current AI that's available right now in terms of what's going on in our world because it's trained on all the X information.
Stands a figure in orange, the market's own knight, with a Bitcoin shield on his chest against inflation's test. Eyes piercing through markets, a guardian in the quest. He's the Bitcoin surfer on the blockchain wave, a defender of health, steadfast and brave. With his cryptographic armor, our assets he'll save.